Hi family, it is your good sis Jessica Dixon back with another video. Today is a story time. Story time, y'all. I honestly did not want to even do this video because first of all, it's really emotional for me. And I don't want to disappoint I never wanted to say I was like Christian or anything, because once you say that you're Christian, I feel like you immediately go under a microscope because people expect perfection out of Christians, and that's not really how it goes sometimes. But sometimes we do have those wonderful people who are just a beautiful example, and that is my ultimate goal. But right now, I still curse a little bit, and you know, I curse sometimes, and it be things like thoughts, like bad thoughts sometimes, or you know, forgiveness. I deal with forgiveness, which I thought I was clear and clean on that forgiveness thing, but then when I was face to face with someone who hurt me, hurt my family, I realized I still had things to work on. And I don't want to disappoint the Lord saying I'm a Christian and then sin, which I'm gonna go all into everything. I took notes because I didn't want to forget anything, so I'm gonna go straight into it. First of all, I do want to say I was raised in a Christian home. I grew up in the church, and I always believed in God. Well, almost always. I believed in God until my sister passed away. My sister passed away about 2003. And at that point, I had gave up on Christianity, on Christ, on God. I honestly gave up. I'm like, whew, that stuff just, it ain't real. How can my sister even leave me? She was the closest thing to me. Like, I love my sister. If anybody know us, we was like peanut butter and jelly. So it was so hard to lose my sister. I honestly went through it was rough after my sister passed away, to just say the least. But I just continued living my life, having a good time, smoking, drinking, staying in the clubs, just doing what I do, being out and about, basically just living my good, full, sinful life, you know. But at one point, the unthinkable had happened to my family. Then I went into depression. My family experienced something that was really tragic and traumatizing. I went into depression. I prayed every day at that point because nothing would work for my pain. Like it's me and my children, we went to counseling and everything, but that didn't seem to work. But I was hoping that, you know, it worked for the children. So we continued to go to counseling, and we just continue to go to counseling, and I just continued to pray. I feel like that counseling, nothing was really helping with my depression, but I never stopped praying. And after so long of going to counseling and praying, counseling stopped. Actually, they they said that they thought that we were good, and they had did all they can do for our family. We had a lot going on in court, and like the court procedures were over, and my kids, I think they said they was pretty good, and you know, really, I just really cared about my children. So if they said they was good, it was good. So we stopped the counseling. I still continue to pray, and months passed, and honestly, that depression was so deep. Like, my kids barely had a mom during the point of my depression, because I was only able to get up to like feed them, take them places. Like, I was only doing the necessity, like bath time, story time, dinner time. That was it. Like, even if that happened, you know. So months and months had passed. The pain started to leave after prayer. Like, I would just lay in my bed and I would pray. And I really, only thing I would say at that point was, I would say the Lord's Prayer, then I would ask the Lord to just take the pain away. I was just like, dear Heavenly Father, please take this pain away. I would just say, Jesus, 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 Jesus. It was nothing I could say. Sometimes I would lay and say the Lord's Prayer and just continue to cry. It was just really nothing I could do to ease the pain. The pain was horrible. And eventually it lifted. The pain left. And I knew that it was nothing but the grace of God taking that pain away from me. I was not able to do anything else. And nothing else worked. So the prayer started to work. The pain started to lift. I was able to then start just like living life again. I was able to get up and do things again. I was feeling like, okay, I could live a little bit. So, whew, the pain started to leave. And then that's when I started to think like, wow, is God really real? Is God, okay, God is real. He must have heard those prayers because things are changing, you know. And then one day my car had stopped on me. And I reflected to God taking that pain away from me. And I'm like, you know what, God, if you could take that pain away from me, you can do anything. Like, at this time, I was not working. I had hardly any income. I was getting down to the end of the month where I was scraping, like I would search my couches for change to go to the store and get a bell pepper and a potato for dinner. Like, it was rough. And I was driving a 1990 something Toyota Camry, you know, and it gave up on me. It just gave up on me, whatever. So it stopped. And then so I went back to my prayer space. I pray in my room. So really that's like my prayer space. Like, I pray in my room, I pray in the restroom. Like, those are really my prayer spaces. So I began to pray and I was asking God, I said, God, you've came through for me with my depression and I need a car. And I said, God, I need this car today. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wish, dream, hope, nothing. I need a car today. I'm sure I only had about between $100 and $300 on me, period. I just don't even know where that came from. I do not remember all of the specifics, but what I do remember is praying for a vehicle that day. And God put it on my heart to just look on Craigslist for this vehicle. And so I said, okay. I began to look and I found a minivan. It was, I think, $1,200 or something like that. And I talked the man down to like $800. And I don't know, I don't even remember the specifics of how I came up with the $800, but I did, and I got the vehicle that day. But in the process of me praying, I had told God, I said, God, if you bless me with this van, I am going to, I didn't say if. I was just, I'm like, I understood that prayer works. I'm like, this prayer thing is something to it. It works. And so I was like, God, when you bless me with this vehicle, I had no idea what kind of car it was or what kind of car it would be or nothing like that. I said, God, you bless me with this vehicle, I'm going to bless others. I'm not going to say no to anybody. I'm not going to turn anybody down. There's nothing that I won't do once you bless me with this vehicle. And when God blessed me with that vehicle, it was like just another shock. I'm like, oh, wow, oh my God. Like, I knew that he was real, but just the living Christ, the goodness of God, it just blew my mind. And I'm telling you, he gave me a van that day. That same day I got a van. I love the van. I previously had a van like that I spent a lot of money on. Well, actually, I started it, but my dad paid it off and all that. I got it when my kids were little. But at this point, they're teens, and I'm like, well, what are they teens? I don't know, but my kids were little still. But I'm like, yes, you know, God is real. Like, he heard me. And when I tell you, when I got that van, it really was literally nothing that I did not do to help anybody. When I saw people on the street asking for change, whatever I had in my vehicle, I gave. It was people who really didn't even like me, who was in my family. They needed a place to stay. And I was like, yes, you can come and stay. You can stay. Yes, you can. I took their children back and forth to school because it was in a different area than where I lived. I fed the homeless in that van. I helped people move their households in that van. I was on Facebook Marketplace buying everybody anything that I could possibly buy them in that van. It was so much amazing things that I had did in that van. I said no to nobody. I was on a mission to please the Lord in that van, and that van just touched my soul. Every time I think about every time I think about that van and what I did and what I went through, and just the promise that I made to God and the gift that he gave to me, like, it's just such a beautiful story. I love telling people about that van. It was amazing. I'm telling you, in that van, God gave me my dream job. Like, God, after that van, I'm telling y'all, God never stopped blessing me. He never stopped blessing me. After that van, I got blessing after blessing after blessing. And half the things I wasn't even asking him for. He blessed me with my dream job, a job I never thought that I would be able to work. And I loved that job. And God, he blessed me with a wonderful boyfriend at the time. And I was going through a lot, so I didn't trust people. So I started dating a police officer. And God had put it on his heart to give me so many things that my heart had desired. And like, I wasn't asking him, but we was both struggling when we got together. And then he had ended up running across a lot of money, and he was promising me things the whole entire time we was there. He's like, oh baby, when I get this money, I'm gonna furnish your house, I'm gonna get the, like, God, I'm telling you, God just continued to bless. And I didn't think he was gonna do it. I didn't expect him to. I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. But you know, I honestly even told him, like, don't do that, we should just save and build. And he didn't want to do that. We didn't do that. But after that van came blessing after blessing after blessing. Like, God is just so real. He is so real. So I did everything I promised, and God did more. He blessed me with my dream job. After I got that dream job, I was like, oh God, I'm going to work this job. I wrote down a list, and this had to be like in 2017, or as a matter of fact, I think it was in 2018, because I ended up with a 2018. I believe, let me tell you, the beginning of 2018, I wrote down a list of what I wanted to just do with the rest of my life. I said, hey, I love this job. I'm going to work this job for 20 years. And I'm going to just do this job for 20 years. And then my retirement is going to come. And when I get my retirement, I'm going to get a brand new car that year, the same year, with 0 miles, and I'll be in a little bitty house, and that it has been paid off by that time, because I'll be done worked and paid it off by that time. And I don't even remember what else was in that list, but I wish that I had that notebook, because God brought that list to fruition like that same year. It was like, I don't want to cry, y'all, but God is so good. I'm telling y'all, that's another reason why I didn't want to do it. But I thank God for the strength that he given me, because usually by now, baby, I'll be in tears when I start telling these stories. But I wrote it down in 2018 that in 20 years, what I wanted to do. In 20 years, I said, well, I have a pretty house, and I'll have the furniture that I would like to have in it. And I'm telling you, because life was so rough before the Lord started blessing me. I have to breathe. Life was so rough before the Lord blessed me. And like, to me, to me, I'm still at the bottom of the barrel. I'm not even gonna lie, but like from the outside looking in, people probably like, wow, this is amazing. But yes, it is amazing. God is amazing. He just truly blessed me. God has blessed me to do things that I never thought that I would ever be able to do. And the cop, he broke up with me. We still friends, but we went in two different directions after the money, but we still friends. Like, I thought that we were going to build and he just wanted to play. And so I'm not trying to play. I'm trying to build. So I'm still trying to build. So, but we still friends and like nothing like that going on. I'm trying to please the Lord, y'all. So, God, the list that I wrote, God brought it to fruition in months. I said I wanted a new car. God blessed me, and this was 2018. God blessed me with a 2018 Nissan Rogue with 0 miles on it. 0 miles that same year. And I did not think that I was qualified or able to. I'm like, I just could never be able to do that. And God blessed me to do that. Everything that I wanted in my house, God gave me immediately. God, I mean, he blessed me tremendously. And then God just continued to bless me. God is still continuing to bless me. I'm still a work in progress. When I think of the goodness of God, I get all mushy. I get all emotional, because when I tell you the tragedy that me and my children went through, it took my happiness away. It took my smile away. It took my joy away. And to know me is to know that I'm always naturally happy, bubbly. I would never quit smiling. Like, people used to call me Smiles all the time, because it wouldn't matter what I was going through. I was smiling. I was happy. I was excited, happy about life every single day, all the time, always happy. But after that, I didn't smile. I didn't talk much. But what I never did was I never stopped giving, and I always have family functions in my home, but I never stopped the family functions, and I never stopped helping others. I never stopped praying for others. And God is just continuing to bless me. Y'all pray for me if any of y'all are Christians or love the Lord and all that. But the Lord is just so real and active in my life that I had to share this story. So I hope y'all enjoy my story time. So yes, I met the Lord in my bedroom, praying in my bed continuously over and over. That's all I could do. I could not move. I could not get out of my bed. And the Lord blessed me right where I was. And your good sis love you, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.